Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Tuesday. I'm a mess this morning. Actually not. Mini crisis in the Lucas Hale. So, getting that fixed and still working on it. But, yeah, so anyway, little discombobulated, a little late. Sorry if that made some squishy sounds. But I'm here. Sorry. I gotta take my pills before I forget. And I even had my coffee from yesterday that I didn't finish, and now it's like, boo, I forgot it. I had it from my show today. Sorry, it's my vitamins. Anyway, good morning. Happy Tuesday. I missed a pill. Oh, that's an important one too. That one is my mental health pill. I know, you're like, why do we care? I care. And you should care. So, all right. As promised, the Affirmators. So Sammy and I had a good talk yesterday after the show, and there's some things that I will share eventually. But I don't want to get too soapboxy, so we'll take a break from the soapbox today. Good morning, older sibling. And did I say good morning, Muddy? So good morning, older sibling. Good morning, Muddy. Anyway, I know I'm on countdown. Tomorrow, Comic-Con technically starts, but I don't have preview night. So for me, it's Thursday. But I get to see one of my besties tomorrow. I'm picking him up from the airport. And because a lot of times, you know, because he doesn't live nearby. So sometimes, you know, it's the only time we'll actually get to visit, except when a group of us have lunch. So, yeah, one of my best friends for like 20 plus years. So very excited to see him. And, oops, let's see. All right. Well, that one flew out, so I forgot what I was doing. Anyway, so with the Affirmators, okay, and this is perfect because the last one will show. With the Affirmators, I pull one card, all right? If one of these types of cards show up, I will pull the one behind it. Because generally, once we shuffle, we'll give it one more shuffle. I think that was meant so I could show you that. For the Aloha Perspective. One more. I think a lot of times, so anyways, when you see one of those types of cards, I will pull the next one because a lot of times they seem to go together. So it's kind of cool. But we will just be doing one a day, and mostly they're just these, okay? And they're kitties. I miss my kitties. So the Affirmators, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. 50 affirmation cards to help you help yourself without the self-helpiness. And on the bottoms, it says interpersonal wisdom that'll last a lifetime, but they scratched out lifetime and put a day. And then magically unlock the secret to every relationship, kind of. Now, here's the thing. I've been hesitant about using this card because deck, because you can see it says love and relationships. Now, you don't have to be in a relationship to understand these, because relationships are kind of the gamut. That's why it says love and relationships, because relationships are family relationships, friendships, platonic relationships, romantic relationships, new relationships, old relationships. You know, you get the picture, right? It's not always about just the love relationships. It's about relationships across the board. So I finally decided to bite the bullet and go, you know what? Let's just do this. So we're doing it. And today's card is compliments. Oh, look how cute they are, right? Like legit cute. I know how good it feels to get a compliment, so I give that gift to others. I'll find a nice compliment for everyone I interact with today, even if I have to think really hard about it, in which case I can follow up by complimenting myself for solving such a compliment puzzle. Wow, I'm skilled. You see what I mean? There's some snarkasm in there. So this one, fascinating that this one came up, because I'm not good at taking compliments, and I know another person who's watching right now that is not good at taking compliments. How about you, Hybrid Muddy? You good at taking compliments? I think a lot of us struggle with it. You know, certain generations raise kids to be, I think, overly humble, so that when we get a compliment, it's kind of like, or if you've had trauma brain, you feel like there's nothing you can do that's right. So you just kind of feel like, and a compliment feels so out in left field. But I love how older sibling knew exactly who I was talking about. But hey, I'm not throwing you under the bus because I just said the same thing. So hybrid muddy, older sibling, and I know we have changed it to hybrid muddies. Actually, we just said hybrid. So we're hybrid muddies, but we'll just say hybrids from time to time, or both. I kind of like it. It's like my full name, right? Shelley Marie, hybrid muddy. So anyways, that being said, so there's 3 of us on here right now who are really not good at taking compliments. If you do something kind for someone, especially if you just do it without even thinking, or if you really would just want to give someone a compliment, or you feel compelled to, I know we live in a day and age now where a lot of people will be like, and then you have all these TV shows that kind of fill your minds with all these different things, right? So, it's kind of like, should I say anything? Are they going to think I'm weird? It's probably the wrong thing to do. But a lot of times when I give a compliment, I mean like on colognes or something, because I'm actually kind of allergic to perfumes. So, see, Sammy likes the hybrid muddy. I love it, hybrid muddy. We sound kind of like technologically advanced, don't we, hybrid muddies? But anyways, so as a side note, I don't do well with very floral or fruity scents. For some reason, my brain or my sinuses they rebel. And then I get sick and all that stuff. So I get headaches and it's not pretty. So a lot of times it's like if I smell a man's cologne, it just kind of hits my senses because I don't normally get to smell scents. And the things that I wear have to be very more on the musk or like woody sides. So fruit and flowers, as pretty as they smell to me, I can't take long doses of them otherwise. So I find myself compelled a lot to compliment people on their colognes. And who doesn't love a man that smells good, right? I mean, come on. I mean, not overdone. It's like they sprayed, walked through it, and they're like, poof. And it's like, oh, hi. But anyways, so yeah. So, a lot of times I'll be like, I don't mean to sound creepy, or I'll say, I don't mean to sound weird, but I don't know what you're wearing, but it smells really nice. And it's a compliment. I had a woman stop me one day coming out of the grocery store. And like I said, I don't know if it's because she actually liked my dress and it's one I wore last week, or if she could see I was having a not so great day. But whatever it was, she just said, she stopped me. She made sure to stop me. And, and she's just like, I just wanted to tell you that outfit you're wearing is great. I love that dress. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. And it made me smile. And it was probably, if I remember correctly, the first smile I had that day. And it was the afternoon. I was having a pretty rough day. And I needed that. And so I also have fantastic resting bitch face. I know. I'm sure there's a better term for it. But to be honest with you, I really like the term resting bitch face. Somebody actually said that to me once. Oh, you have terrific RBF. And I'm like, what the hell is RBF? All these millennials and their little acronyms or whatever they're called. So, so it's just kind of like, yeah, but yeah, so I do have excellent resting bitch face, which is my concentration face. But yeah, usually when I go out, I try to smile at people because, you never know who needs a smile, right? But, Sammy says, I always compliment folks when they smell good. I love scents. Yeah, right? I mean, even if it's floral and I can't handle it, it still smells pretty to me. I mean, I've had my own perfumes that kind of towed the line. And one time I just, probably, because I have to spray and walk through no matter what I wear. But, one time I think I sprayed too much and it was just like, oh, it made me sick. So I sent it to my friend. Just like, here, you turned me onto this fragrance, but I'm a dumbass and I overdid it and now I can't handle it. So, but yeah, I mean, I love smells. Smells are great. Flowers and colognes and musky stuff. It's great. And it kind of, it's very natural and naturey, right? And I mean, whoever sits in the laboratory all day and comes up with these things, kudos to you, because it's amazing. Even if it makes me sick, it's still amazing because they do smell good. But compliments, I know compliments can be hard. And I don't know why sometimes we have trouble taking compliments. There are people out there who, you compliment and they'll be like, "Oh, you're very welcome." And then it kind of feels like, huh, and sometimes it might feel annoying, but it's not their fault. It's our fault because we're like, "Hey, how come that person can take a compliment so well? What's wrong with me?" There's nothing wrong with you. Depending on, the situation that you're in, it could be a lot of factors. There could be a lot of factors leading up to why you don't do compliments well, why it's so hard for you to take compliments. So in that case, just take them. If someone is taking time out to give you a compliment, don't look for a hidden agenda. Don't look for anything more than, "Hey, I'm receiving a compliment." Even if it is a hidden agenda, just say thank you and move on. Move on. And if you feel uncomfortable, just keep walking. "Thank you. I appreciate it. That was very sweet of you." And you don't always have to return a compliment with a compliment. Sometimes thank you is enough. So older sibling, I'm not throwing you under the bus. I'm just making the point here and I do the same thing, and I'm really trying to break myself out of this habit. But a lot of times I'll give her a compliment and it's like, "Oh, well," and she has to return one. And it's like, you don't need, and I'll sit there and just say "you're welcome" or "thank you." Sorry, just say "thank you." You don't need to return my compliment with a compliment. Because a lot of times I think that's, just us being uncomfortable because we're not used to getting compliments. If you're bullied a lot when you're a kid and you grow up and, you're this completely confident and whatever person, that doesn't mean that you still have an easy time taking compliments because you're used to being, just verbally battered, and getting a kind word from someone, may be hard. Or even as an adult, you may get bullied. Or, there may be emotional abuse involved and even physical abuse that can be involved. These are all things that lead up to trauma brain. And trauma brain is hard. So when we sit here and we talk about something like love and relationships, compliments are a huge thing in love and relationships. There are couples in this world. My last boyfriend and I, he's like, "Why do you have a hard time taking a compliment?" And it's like, I don't know. And I didn't know then because I hadn't been on my healing journey. As far as I was concerned, I had moved on, but I hadn't. I had just pushed it down, shoved it down so far that I don't know, it was so far in the dark and under lock and key that I couldn't find it, but it was still pushing up all these icky things. Like, why can't I take a compliment? And, sometimes it would become, a bone of contention there. It's just kind of like, well, you just need to learn how to take compliments. And then you get offended because you're like, "Well, excuse me," you get defensive, especially with trauma brain. You get defensive because, you fight so hard sometimes to just be the person that is standing in the body that you're standing in, that if somebody makes you feel like you're on the defense, you just kind of don't know what to do, and it's like you're backed into a corner and you're trying to claw your way out, and that can cause a lot of problems too. Healing is something I highly recommend. I mean, very highly recommend. Just as a side note, like I said, my healing journey, not for the faint of heart, but definitely worth it. No healing journey is going to be easy. It may not be as hard as mine was, but it's not going to be easy because you are going to have to face things about yourself that, or your past or your life or where you're at now that you may not be comfortable facing. I had to face a lot of bad behaviors on my part. Yes, it may have stemmed from having a trauma brain, but you know, I still had to heal it. I had to make my own amends. Hurt people hurt people. And that's where we have to stop. Now I was lucky enough to have somebody in my corner in the early on days before I really started getting the healing done that really kind of just planted a lot of older sibling played the long game with me, and I couldn't be more grateful because she gave me a safe space and she gave me understanding because she had struggled herself with her own mental health. So I had someone in my corner now who understood. As I began my healing journey and I started a completely separate account on Twitter for mental health, I met people who had been through what I'd been through as well. I mean, not similar situations, but the exact situations. And all of a sudden you feel like it's, not a community that you want to exist, but a community that you're grateful that exists because you help each other. You realize, and there are people that have been on healing journeys their entire life. I zoomed right by them. And that's not a brag. That just goes to show that when you have support in your corner, when you have people that care about you, like I have Muddy, I have older sibling, bestie, baby sibling. These are people that I know I can turn to. I have a friend, Debbie, on Messenger that we send each other stuff every so often. There's a lot of people that I'm grateful for. My cousins who are in my corner, and I'm grateful that I have that. And I don't think I realized that until I came through my healing journey and I looked back and I saw some of the people that I did zoom by. And it's like, wow, I am really fortunate to have the people I have in my corner. But because of that, I'm able to be that person for somebody who doesn't have that kind of support, even if it's not in person. So, we can't give up on those. A lot of people will call it attention seeking. I don't really know that it would be attention seeking in the way that we want to call it attention seeking. But I think it's attention seeking in the way that says somebody's saying, I don't have any support. I don't have anyone to talk to. So I'm just splashing it on social media. Because I need people. I need someone to not give up on me. I need someone to, not walk away when I push back. And that's what made the difference with older sibling and I. Because when I did push back, even the times that, and I say this with lots of regret, that I made her cry. Because I was hurting and I was lashing out like that little feral animal trapped in the corner. She never quit on me. And as I learned to heal and as I learned to move forward, I learned to ask other people for help. I learned to open up. And I'm in this position now where it's like, I know to ask for help. And it's not easy because a lot of times we might think, well, we did this ourselves our whole lives. And, so if I ask for help, it makes me weak. It doesn't. It makes you very strong. Asking for help is one of the strongest things you can ever do for yourself. All right. So going back to compliments, you're probably thinking, what does all that have to do with compliments? It has everything to do with compliments, because when you're hurting and when you're in pain and when you have not started the healing journey, or if you're in the middle of it or at the beginning, the end, whatever, and you still struggle with taking compliments, there's something that still needs to be healed. That's just my perspective, but I truly believe that. And it's the part of you that says, you know what? I am allowed to be in this world. I'm allowed to do nice things, and people can appreciate that. There's nothing wrong with it. You're not, 9 times out of 10, people don't do things because they want attention for it. They do it because it's the right thing to do. Or they do something nice because, you're thinking of somebody. It's like my friend that I told you I used to work with, who would bring me Dunkin' coffee in the morning, just randomly. I mean, it took her, a couple of times, hey, I'm going to stop for coffee. Do you want any? And it's like, sure. How do you want it? Okay. But once she figured that out, she stopped asking and she would just bring it. And like I said, sometimes I'd be away from my desk and I would just find this cup of Dunkin' Donuts coffee on my desk. And I'm just like, oh my God, best present ever. But and I would go in there and it's like, thank you. You're amazing. And it was just because it was such a sweet gesture. I didn't ask for it. But I would, you know, people think about us. And when people think about us and they give us compliments, it's okay to say thank you. I promise you, it's okay to say thank you. You are enough. You are deserving of compliments. And, you know, it's not hard to look in the mirror and just remind ourselves that we're all amazing in our own ways. Even on those days when we don't feel amazing, even on those days when we might lash out like that little feral animal in the corner, you're still amazing because you were fighting through something. Okay, we don't just lash out for no reason. We lash out because something might be in there. Trauma brain or not, maybe you're just having a bad day. Okay, you don't need to fall under the mental health umbrella to become a feral animal. Okay, you don't. Maybe the whole day was just crap. And then you come home or you go home to your people, or you go out with your people, or you go out with your significant other or whatever. And maybe one thing just happens and everybody's all like, you know, oh, good morning, Angela. Oh, thank you. I was wondering if anyone would notice. Yeah, so this is Comic-Con inspired. All right, so Ashley Eckstein, who is the founder of Her Universe and also a voiceover actress, they did a photo shoot with her because she always does, this is like her 11th year doing her universe fashion show at Comic-Con, and they did a picture with her and her hair was so cute and they did it like this. And I mean, it's the first time I've ever tried it, but so I got a little work to do on it, but thank you, Angela. And Angela she's a hairstylist, so I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, and see, there's a compliment. Oh, and look, I took the compliment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, there was an explanation for it, but I was excited. I wanted to try it today. So I thought, woo. I am not looking forward, though, to taking these little things out because I don't know if it's the same thing for people with straight hair, but people with curly hair, not that exciting to take these things out of my hair. But it comes with 1,000 of them, so maybe I'll just take the scissors and just cut them out. I don't know. We'll see. It was only like, it wasn't bad. It was like $2 for like 1,000 of these. Okay, and there's like a ton of colors. I mean, they're adorable. There's probably like 100 of these 10 colors. So, anyways, compliments. All right. So see, oh, I'm excited, and look. I didn't even think twice. So, you know, compliments. Learn how to take them. I know it can be hard at the beginning. And you know, I'm not saying go out there and do things so that you get compliments. You want genuine compliments. You want people to just say, hey, look at that. Like that, you know, I love that look. Your hair looks cute. Oh, okay. Thank you. She's giving me tips on which kind to get. I don't know who makes these, but they feel non-stick to me, but for some reason my hair still pulls out, you know. And so, I mean, here's the thing with curly hair. All right, here's another sidebar. But like I said, when you watch the Aloha Perspective, you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. So she said, get Thoughts hair rubber bands that are non-stick. So there you go. You have it from a hairstylist. Thoughts hair rubber bands. But yeah, so I can't brush my hair every day. I can use a pick or I can use a comb because I have curly hair. Otherwise, I'd be a big floof ball. All right. So in the summer, I tend to brush my hair a lot more because I will put it up and I will put it back. But, you know, and it's easier when I have it straight and poofy because it makes it a little thicker. But for the most part, like in the winter, when my hair's curly, it's hard. Oh, she meant those. Get those hair rubber bands. Oh, okay. She said, get those hair rubber bands that are non-stick. These are those tiny little ones that are supposed to be non-stick. So, oops, my bad. So anyways, but yeah, these are these little, and they're so cute. They have so many colors. I can't tell if you can see them, but I have like a fluorescent pink one. Yeah. So anyways, fun times. But anyways, so there you go. I'm going to read the card one more time and then I'm going to let you guys go. Older sibling, hybrid muddy, Angie, thank you for coming on. Yeah, thanks for popping on. Thanks for the tips. Thanks for the compliments. And you know what, guys? Go out there and practice taking compliments. If someone gives you a compliment, just say thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. You're so sweet. You don't need to give a compliment back unless you see something or unless it's genuine, okay? I mean, I'm not saying that if you just randomly spit out a compliment to compliment them back after they've complimented you that it's not genuine, because it generally is, but you don't need to look for something to compliment them on just because you're uncomfortable. Just say thank you. Just say thank you. Thank you. You're so sweet. I really appreciate that. And if you're having a bad day, thank you. I appreciate it. I really needed that today. You know, I really needed that today. So thank you. You know, and if you want to compliment someone, go for it. You know, go for it. If you see somebody, you know, out there that's just stunning or whatever, just say, you know what? Well, be careful when you say these things because it could turn out bad. So yeah, maybe I better not suggest that. But you know what? If you see someone in a cute outfit or a nice smelling scent wafting off of them, sometimes I'll see people with really beautiful eyes and it's just like, oh my God, you have like the most stunning eyes, you know, and it's just, and you can't help it. But you know, it doesn't hurt to be kind. And that's what a compliment is. It's just another version of kindness. And, you know, the way you extend it back is by just showing your appreciation and saying thank you. All right. So, again, compliments with the kitty and the little ball. I know this cat looks like he stole the ball. I know how good it feels to get a compliment, so I give that gift to others. I'll find a nice compliment for everyone. Oh, excuse me. I'll find a nice compliment for everyone I interact with today, even if I have to think really hard about it. In which case, I can follow up by complimenting myself for solving such a compliment puzzle. Wow, I'm skilled. So see, you can compliment yourself. So there you go. That's the card for today. Compliments. Go out there, take compliments. If you have long hair and you want to try this, guys, you got to start up here. I noticed the trick was I started up here and I kind of made my way down and then I grabbed all the hair and then just started going down. All right. I mean, you know, do however you want to do. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever tried this. This is my trial run. So I'm sure over time I will perfect it. Or at least get it a little, well, I don't know. I don't think it looks bad. So get it a little less frizzy. So have a great, like I said, have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live. All lives are public under Shelly Marie Lucas. Anybody can watch, or you can find me across the social media board under my name or the Aloha Perspective. If you look for me on Twitter, it's Shellbell's Quest. Okay. So, yeah, so again, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. One last time, Angie, older sibling, Hybrid Muddy, thanks for popping on. Hybrid Muddy, thanks for your input too on a lot of the things that I do here on this show. So again, have a great day, everybody, and thank you again so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.